Before reggaeton became global, before the industry and the charts and the polished sound, there was a raw movement forming by way of Panama and New York City. And one of those voices at the very beginning of the story was La Atrevida, also known as Rude Girl. Her name is Yesenia Knight, an Afro-Panamanian artist with strong ties to both Panama and New York City, carrying two different worlds in her sound. Her identity and her story, she is widely considered one of the first female artists in reggae en español, helping shape the early foundations of what would later on become reggaeton. But her story hits deeper than music. She was a woman in a heavily male-dominated space, a scene where most of the voices, producers, and gatekeepers were men. And still, she stepped in anyway. No permission, no waiting, no asking to be included. She just was. Back then, Panama was the heartbeat of this sound. The streets, the block parties, the underground cassette culture, everything was alive with rhythm and experimentation. Reggae en español wasn't an industry yet. It was a movement born from Panamanian culture and Caribbean influence, and everyday life in the communities that carried it. And in that environment, she stood out. Her sound was raw, bold, and unfiltered, deeply influenced by dancehall, but rooted in Spanish storytelling and street expression. That's why the name La Atrevida fits her so perfectly. The one who didn't shrink herself to fit in the room. She wasn't just part of the scene. She was part of the foundation of Panama's contribution to a global urban music. And even if history doesn't always say her name loud enough, her impact is still in the DNA of the culture that came after. Because when you talk about reggae en español, when you talk about the beginnings of reggaeton, you're talking about Panama. You're talking about the streets of Brooklyn that built it. And you're talking about the voices that helped shape it from the very beginning. And she was one of them. La Atrevida, Rude Girl, Yesenia Knight, a Panamanian pioneer who stood in a male-dominated space and helped build a sound that would change the world. Feliz mes de la etnia negra.